Good evening, good morning, or whatever time it is for you. Welcome to the Binary Ninja live stream. I am Jordan. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. This is going to actually start. I think we're going to get into a regular schedule now of every other week. So we're kind of going to have like a TikTok where I will be live 1 week. And then in the off weeks, what we're actually going to do is be uploading the edited streams. So you'll start to see, I think next Friday, the first one will come out. You should see like past week streams without the mistakes and well, some of the mistakes, like the good mistakes where I learned something will be left in, but like the wasted space or ums and ahs or stuff like that will be kind of edited out, a little more concise. Maybe some of the more chit chat from chat will be gone, but you'll get just kind of a little more concentrated serving of Binary Ninja. The other way you can get an even higher dose of Binary Ninja, the not from concentrate version or the from concentrate version, I'm not sure which analogy works better, but is the Binary Ninja Basics. So I mentioned this last time. The first video is already up, and you'll start seeing a couple more of those come live as well. And Binary Ninja Basics are excerpts from these live streams that are condensed down to be on a particular topic and just to really just to learn a particular feature or workflow or something specific with Binary Ninja. So we'll do one of those shortly here to kind of kick this stream off as well. And let's see. Let's head on over to. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have tested that my screen capture was working. Sometimes I have to disable and re-enable the screen capture. That did it. There we go. Okay. So let's see. This week, let's start with closed issues. We'll do a little this week in Binary Ninja, and there's been, again, because it's been 2 weeks since we last met. And by the way, how is everyone? Hi, good to see y'all. Feel free to chime in and say hello in the chat. But we've got a lot of bugs and issues and features and things that have landed. So I'm going to kind of quickly scan through those, and we're going to look and just talk about what's changed in the last couple of weeks. So let me make sure I've got the latest Binary Ninja dev running so we can check some of the stuff out. All right. And then we will find everything that's changed. Right. So array support for just arrays in general. Actually, I showed off some of the array fixes that came in. I feel like my video might have gotten a little big here and is blocking out more of the screen than I intended. Let's straighten this back up a little bit. Y'all don't need to see that much. Yes. That's right. The nice thing is, I'm not sure why that got resized, but that's a little better. Matches the size of the chat box. Hey, welcome, BNC. And if I know you under another name, feel free to chime in. I can't always see the icons if it's folks I recognize, but good to have everybody here. Oh no, that's weird. Hold on. I actually see. Yeah, I saw chat show up in my preview box before I saw it in my chat box. That's right. Yeah, Game Mind. Thanks for tuning into that. Right. So one of the reasons we did not do the stream last week was because we had a different event going on. So let's see. If you follow us on Twitter, which you should, because then you get all of our updates, of course. We don't really tweet a whole lot either. But you can come back and see. So last week at Kernel Con, I made a little challenge for Chris Eagle, and you can go watch it. I think it's I don't know if it's still on Twitch, but it's on there. I think the Hacking Esports YouTube English channel, I think, has the link to it. You could probably go find them from Kernel Con's Twitter. But yeah, if you want to go see the past events, there it is, right there. So they've got a playlist up there. You can go check out Chris Eagle solving my Among Them challenge. And actually, one of the jokes was if you and also if you didn't get a chance to see Joe Grand's setup, that was a lot of fun too. So I love the idea of hardware hacking. I'm not much of a hardware hacker, so it was super fun to watch Joe Grand just tearing all these little hardware challenges, and it was a lot of stuff. It was so many different things, and he's just super nice guy, super entertaining. So that was a really fun one as well too. I highly recommend that. Unfortunately, I missed some of the earlier ones because I was preparing for mine. But some of you may remember I even said on stream 2 weeks ago, "Oh, that's a preview for something else," and that was because I think I had an older version of this challenge open or it was like one of my open files or open tabs or something. So it came up on the stream very briefly. So if Chris Eagle watches these streams, spoiler, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But if he did, he could have gotten a little bit of a head start. Although I think I changed the challenge a fair amount from there. So if we have time later, maybe we can talk about that for those of you that missed it. But thank you for the reminder from that Game Mind. That was the last week as well. So it was also part of why we were offline. I also showed 2 weeks ago the preview build of multi-dimensional arrays and the nice array support in Binary Ninja, and that's been on dev for a little while now. So hopefully you've had a chance to play with it. If not, no worries. Next time it's something you would use, go check it out. So let's look here. The couple of issues. I'm really looking for like the bugs that were. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, here we go. So I've got the filter, but I don't have it sorted. So let's sort by newest. Oh, it is sorted by newest. Okay, well, because it's sort of by the age of it, not when it was closed. Can I sort by closed? Recently updated. Sure, let's do that. Okay. So now only the bugs closed in the last 2 weeks, sorting by most recently updated. So we can go start to old. This should do. All right. So there were a couple of bugs. Let's see. Yeah, we've had Apple Silicon support. We just didn't close the bug. But if you're on the QT6 challenge, QT6 branch of Binary Ninja, which actually I think it turns out I am on for this one of these test builds. It's the other one I'm on, the collaboration one. This one happens to be the QT6 test branch. At some point, we haven't totally decided that we're going to have QT6 be the main and only version of Binary Ninja. But now, to sort of help the transition, we've got people. We've got a separate test branch, and so when you go to the updates, you can pull it from there. So the milestones we're going to touch on, Game Mind. That's a great question. I'm glad you noticed. We'll talk about that once I go through the rest of the updates for this week. We'll talk about milestones as well, because that's something I want to touch on. So in fact, let me. I didn't have it on my list, so I'll make sure I add it. Yeah, and if I forget, remind me again. Oh, this is fun. Yeah. Variable storage information for tooltips. So I haven't tried this one yet, but. I think I have my tooltips turned off because I usually don't like them popping up. But now I'm actually probably going to leave this setting on because I don't think I have to restart. Is it only graph view? There we go. So now if you hover over a variable, the tooltip here has some nice information, right? So you get the type. If you've got like the value set analysis or range analysis, you get that. Like the tooltip is actually really, really helpful now. I used to turn it off primarily because if you hovered over like an offset or a function call, you would get like a big selection, which I didn't always want. Excuse me. Although actually sometimes you do want that, and you can hold the control key down, or is it control or shift? Actually it's alt on like. It looks like, and then it keeps that up, and you can just scroll in there. Same thing, even if it's like a function call, and that's going to be an import. Yeah, so you're just going to get the PLT entry, but you get that pop up. You can hold down alt, and you can scroll around and look inside of it. But usually when I'm like gesturing or pointing with the cursor, like on stream in particular or teaching or something, I don't like the pop-ups because they kind of get in my way. So I usually turn that off. That's under the settings tooltip. There's a manual tooltip. So if you see me turning that on and off, that's why I'm doing that. And so yeah, if we select a variable, we get the type for the variable and the storage backing if it's a temp variable, if it's a stack variable. So like let's see, do we have a good example of a stack variable? I think buff is no, not buff. There was one of these actually here. So where's main? I'm going to turn on show variables at the top of functions. And one of these, yeah, frame offset. So like here's one here, bar B8. So if we were down here and we didn't like up there, we could just straight up see it. If we were down here and we had this, like, where is this actually coming from? Because in high level IL, you don't necessarily see it. See, I think it is. It's only in graph view right now. That needs to be in linear view too. But there you go. You can actually see the stack offset just from the tooltip. So that's a nice one. I like that feature. Where are we going? Back here. That landed. Bug fix. Bug fix. There was that one. Yeah, storage information as well as. I think there was another change later on that was this was a similar one. Let's see. Multi-dimensional arrays again. Pointer to arrays. Addresses should be displayed. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of nice one. I think that is, yeah, that's a good one too. So addresses will never get displayed as signed. Like if it actually has a type that it's a pointer, it will never display as signed, which makes sense. Like, yeah, I don't know of any system that would ever represent a pointer as a negative value. So that seemed pretty straightforward. Oh, here's a nice little quality of life function. But if you create a user function, the return value of that function will be the function object, which is a small little quality of life thing. Instead of having to then get back that function and query it based on the address that you just made, like that's just the return from that function. So that's a little bit cleaner there. Yeah, functional parameters with setters in Python. There's some more work that we need to do with setters in Python and making sure we really clarify which things are live or not, because you can have like an object in Python and some of them are sort of disconnected from the core, right? Like they're not necessarily like if I take a function in Binary Ninja, like the current function, this one's start, right? Or it's currently main. Right? And I set the name is equal to something else, that changes, right? Because this function object I have is a live object. But some things like a variable right now, variables aren't necessarily live. And there's some reasons for that, because sometimes you want to create like a sort of Pythonic version of a variable. You want to pass it to some other core function that does something with it. And it's a kind of subtle thing. It's a little weird. And I think there's a little bit of tweaking we want to do to the API just to make that really smooth so that you could tell if I have an object, what expectations would I have in this? If I change a property, is it reflecting the core, or is it read-only, or what's going to happen with it? So you'll see more of that coming, but that's what that particular issue is related to. Automatic structure creation. So this is a duplicate of an existing bug, but this is actually coming. So this one is underway, and these are on some test branches. So maybe next week, or in 2 weeks, if it's not landed yet on dev, we'll take a look at those test branches and play with them. But there's some really nice related features that will automatically create structures and then automatically populate based on accesses to those structures. Like if they're in a global memory, it'll just create the structure of a particular size, and then we'll find, okay, this offset is referenced from these functions, this offset is referenced from these functions. So the nice thing is this is not just like within a function, I say, like, make me a structure, and all the references within that function, but literally globally throughout the whole program, anywhere there is a cross-reference to an offset within that global variable, it will actually be like, oh, okay, well, that's a reference to that offset, and you can get a much more complete view of the structure that way. So that's a nifty feature that's in development. It's gonna be really nice. And actually, oh, that's right, that was the other one that changed. That sort of tooltip, the hover preview, structure fields apparently get that too now. So let me see if I still have that. Yeah, so I have the CPU server binary, which happened to have some structures created in it. What's it called? There's CPU step. Okay, so there's a Game Boy structure. Oh, this is the old BNDB before the array analysis. But yeah, so like if we tooltip here, does it get the structure actions? Yeah, I haven't actually tested this one, so I'll have to get a different test for that. But theoretically, those tooltips will also show you more information about what field we're accessing in a structure, I think. Oh wait, maybe it's actually closed. Maybe that's why. That one's still open. Never mind. I thought that was actually landed. It just got marked as a dupe. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it'd be great for variables. And then that's the one that got turned into a separate issue and actually just implemented. All right. So I was wrong on that one. A couple more bugs. Those are fixed. All right, let's go to this page. What do we got? It's 46 closed issues in the last 2 weeks, so it's a good number by volume. Yeah, like this bug, setting a variable's name in Python has no effect. That's that exact liveness debate that I was talking about earlier of sort of like when should you expect a change to a property in an object in Python to be immediately reflected in the core, and when are you just sort of changing the Python copy that you have of it. Let's see. This one's related to collaboration, but it basically improves. It allows multiple users to collaborate the same B2B without having their kind of navigation history entangled. Oh, there's a couple of type. Yes, a couple of type view enhancements. This is nice too. So in the types view, several new fun things. These are probably my favorite, I think, for the week that landed. So the first one is this was there before, right? So I think this was in a couple months ago, or it was, I think it was previous stream we showed this, right? You can switch from auto all to user. I like user. I've been lobbying to make that a default. We'll probably change that before the next stable. But you may notice another change. I'm curious if anybody in chat wants to take a guess. Do you see anything else that's relatively new about this that didn't exist before? If you don't already watch our commits or know exactly what it is, we can give it a second for stream to catch up and see if anybody. Oh, Josh clarified the navigation history stuff. Yeah, Game Mind, you got it. Yeah, BNC, you both got it. Exactly. You can collapse structures, right? And actually, can you use arrow keys? Oh, okay. We need to fix that, Josh. You gotta be able to use left and right. Up and down should navigate, but left and right here should open and close, for sure. But yep, absolutely. You can shrink up large structures. So if there's ones you don't want to see, but yeah, that's a very nice one. Nope, Game Mind, that is new. That is just new this week. The collapsing is a little thing, but I think that definitely makes quality of life better for the type view. So I've been wanting. If you go back to like, excuse me, 6 months ago with the stream, I was talking about some of these quality of life things, and like this is one of them that I was saying like the type view just needs some love, and it's gotten some love. In fact, Josh I think did both of these changes. These are nice. Just like that ability there, as well as the filtering and the searching. Yeah, it's filtering down like to be able to just like select stuff there is super nice. So yeah, this is really nice. Check out. It's not as 1873. All right, yeah, let's look at this one. What is my? Whoops, what happened there? All right, numlock? Do I actually have to hit my numlock key? Where is my numlock key? 18, nope, I don't even know what that is. 1873. Make function parameters have convenient setters. So, okay. So that was the one. All right, so let's take that. Let's take the main two, sure. Current function dot parameter vars. Okay, so it's an array, but if I take that array and then I say 2 is equal to vars 0, comma, let's see, old is equal to vars 1, and old.name, can I do this? Yeah, all right, so old.name is equal to new name. So let's just do this. And now we're going to put back a new array, and we're going to say current functional parameter vars is equal to old, it's an array of, so if I'm doing this right, vars sub 0, and we're going to do old, and then vars sub 1. So All right, that might have another, let's see, did that. Oh, it didn't change the name, I don't think. Hold on, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Current function parameter vars. I don't think I set the name when I did that. All right, Kyle, I think I did it, either I did it wrong or I misunderstood what it was doing. But I mean, it did, I could tell that it updated something. So I think the idea there is, yeah, you can change the parameter. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be just a string instead of giving it back like an array. I think it's just something about a string. I mean, I made this bug, so I should probably remember, but it's been a while. That's a year ago. That's a long time. Almost a year. Take a string. Function type is now settable. Okay, so yeah, so you can do that with current function dot function type. Returns a type, and you can actually set it to be equal to something else, right? Yeah, you can have it be a void star and pass that in, and it would actually parse the type out of it and then set it to the function type as well. So I think it's probably just I need to be a string when I do that. Oh no, actually each individual variable directly. Oh, okay. So parameter vars sub 1 is equal to old. Old is varchar star new name. Maybe it doesn't work to set the name that way though. I don't think it's setting the name. Maybe it only does types. Prefer graph view over linear view on startup. Why would you want to do that? I like linear view. Yeah, as one of the new features though. Thanks, Josh. Oh, you were answering the question. I got you. Yeah. Feel free. Feel free to answer questions. That's what we're here for. Always happy to touch on this stuff. All right, so let's see. Back to collapsible types. Big fan. Big fan. We definitely need to get keyboard navigation open close. Should be pretty straightforward, but that's a great one. Let's go back. Here we go. Structured growth is always up to fields. Constant search. Which one is this? List invalid non-member. Oh, yeah, so this one is related. So this one is list invalid or non-member structure accesses, right? Is it did this via cross references? I'm curious if anybody in their team has played with this commit from Shushang. So 2785 or newer. This is that partway step to that automatic structure creation that I mentioned. So you can tell that like, oh, it just references some offset. And I wonder if you get this. Actually, I might be able to like find this via registers T. So yeah, if I find one of these, oh, and by the way, this is, will cross references still work on the whole structure if I just like this? Yeah, it does. That's pretty nice. That's pretty, oh wait. Hold on. Oh, did that one really have new? Yeah, that one had none anyways. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can collapse all the types, and then you can just kind of look, I'm looking through like the cross references list while I just select the type here, and being able to like quickly scan the types. That's very nice. That's very, so I think this particular BNDB, which I had marked up, had, well, actually I think Dustin had originally marked this up for something he was working on, and I borrowed it because I liked it as a great kind of sample binary. Has most of these accesses are actually currently documented, but I think the idea is that if one of these didn't, well, actually here's a good way we can test this. If we have oh no, yeah, again on this BNB, I just haven't set that many types, I think. But yeah, I think the idea is that you would see cross references here. I'm not positive, but Antero, you're not alone. There are definitely people that prefer graph over linear. Yep, that's true. In fact, you'll notice even the Binary Ninja developers, when we first launched Binary Ninja, we technically didn't have linear view. It was only graph. It was only for like a couple months. But the very, very, very first builds did not actually even have a linear view at all. It was just graph. So I certainly, for disassembly, I vastly prefer graph view. I have found myself though, like my preferred way of doing things is I have, let's see, let's put it like right here. I'll have reflection view with something like this. Reflection view with assembly, and then high level IL over here. This has become sort of like, I think, my favorite view. But oh, Josh, did you actually add that just this week as well? The default to linear. Yeah, and just to reiterate too that the navigation history stays between opens. Oh, that was also part of that change. Oh, that's cool. So like if I'm here, no, let's go back to this one. So CPU step is a good one. Let's save the BNDB and let's close it. Oops. All right, Control S, not Command S. Close it. I don't even know if I have to save it. Let's find out. And reopen it. Yep, I'm still there. But if I close it, now it's on ADC, and I reopen it. Yeah, it is only if you save it. That makes sense. That's the behavior I'd want. Yeah, so that's nice. I gotcha. That was the change that Josh added into. That is also, it's one of those little quality of life things that helps out a lot. All right, so where were we? Look at the rest of our weekly updates. There's a fair amount. Oh, plugin manager. Yeah, so plugin manager has definitely had some growing pains. I mean, there's a fantastic new feature, right, which is that it will automatically install dependencies. But there are, I think, still 2 platforms that need a little bit of tweaks. One is if you are using either Windows or Mac and you're using just the Binary Ninja built-in Python. So if you haven't gone to your settings and changed your Python interpreter to specify some other version of Python. If you're on Linux, we just automatically use the system Python, so it's always kind of worked better. Oh, I've apparently got a virtual env set up on this box here. We're just doing some testing with that. But yeah, if you don't have any of those set up, then the automatic plugin dependency installation has, I think, some known bugs in it right now. So those will get ironed out before the next stable. And again, even if you're on dev, you can just install Python or point it at an existing Python and it will just work and it will like automatically install something. So there's a couple of related bugs to that have gotten cleaned up. Let's see, is this still the S page? Okay, yeah. What else? Yeah, so there's a lot of these plugin ones are from that. And then also, it's worth pointing out that John, who I don't know if he's on the stream today or not, our summer intern, who we're pretty excited about, is already jumped. He started this week, and you'll notice this little icon over here. That's his GitHub icon. He's been pretty active. So he came in with like a list of all these things he was excited to change, little stuff here and there that he had noticed because he really likes UI, UX, and fonts and all that stuff. And so we were excited. Actually, he's been on stream, so if you guys have tuned in for a while, you've already seen him. Yeah, so he's got a number of fixes that are already in. So among them, I don't know if this will even show up down here, but the tooltip on this is just a little bit more descriptive, kind of tells you what's going on. There's some big font changes, however. So the way that fonts are done, you'll be able to change the fonts a little bit better between not only the monospace font that's used in like linear view and graph view, but also all the UI fonts around it. So there's a much more consistent behavior with the fonts and font selection. That I think isn't actually, all those changes haven't landed yet on dev, so those are coming soon. But he did, yeah, he started this first enhancement that landed is a part of that. So you can set the interface font. Let's see. Yeah, a few other like just some minor fix-ups that he found. So we always challenge people, like, see if you can land a fix your first day on the job. You got to get your build environment set up. You got to get, Binary Ninja going, and then you got to submit a PR or something that's that's safe to have other people review it and land it. And so he had a couple of fixes. He was working on that. Oh, also, yeah, I want to do that too. This is one I actually haven't seen yet, but the plugin manager actually has this little tooltip here. Yeah, so that help text. behind the scenes, which if you hovered there, you got more details about some of these keywords, but you get even just a hint that that's a thing that you might do now with the text behind it. Really just trying to make that a little bit more discoverable, which I think is nice because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of little theme related stuff. If you've ever published a Binary Ninja theme, you should talk to John. Go in the Slack, talk to John, because he has not only made the best Binary Ninja theme, which is Reflection, which is the one I'm currently rocking here. I use like on all my machines now. But has also been really finding some interesting edge cases and improving a lot of existing themes. So his expertise is fantastic on that, and he can really help you clean up your themes to make them look good. Yeah, just a little. There's already a warning there. That was a little bit that got closed. Transformation dialog is now non-modal. Okay, yeah. So I think that covers the changes for the last couple weeks. Now, before I forget, GameMind, you asked earlier, and we're going to hit this now, the milestones. So you'll notice the milestones have changed. We are very like transparent. We tend to talk a lot about like our roadmap and what's coming next, but that changes. That's the downside is that sometimes what we think we're going to do and what we decide, or we may go back and revisit things or change priorities and bump something up earlier and something else later. And in this particular case, what we had was we're currently on 2.3, and then the build number goes at the end of it. So this is an always incrementing universal build number across all of our builds, that the last 4 digits, and that's really useful because we can ask person what build they're on and just get that, and that tells us exactly what symbols to match up and that kind of thing. But then the 2.3 is sort of like the major family, major. I don't think this is technically semantic versioning the way that we're doing it, because it is, we do tend to do breaking changes in the major and other stuff in the minor, but we add tons of stuff in a minor release, and then again we just kind of use the 4-digit one to track unique builds. So we had planned on going from 2.3 to a 3.0. And 3.0 was going to be that because it was going to be kind of breaking in some ways, right? Like, so I think Qt6 was one of those that we originally planned. We said, look, Qt6, it's going to break some old plugins. You got to go from like PySide 2 to PySide 6, and if you want to be compatible with both, you gotta update your plugins. And so we'll do that in a 3.0. There's a couple other API related changes that we've got kind of queued up that we wanted to like. Okay, we're probably going to land these on 3.0 because now's the time to if you ever have anything that you've been deprecating or you wanted to kind of change now, we'll revisit it for 3.0. But the biggest change that was going to come with that was a real kind of rethinking of the UI. And so that was kind of based on VS Code, which I've probably mentioned before. But we love stealing design cues from Visual Studio Code because they've got just good design chops. And I think it's a really well designed product, and so I really like to see how they've solved particular things. Not always, I don't always agree with everything that they've done, but I think it really strikes a balance between a powerful tool with lots of capability and features, but still not cluttering up the UI, still keeping the default view relatively clean, even with a lot of plugins and extensions installed. And so, one of their big things is this sidebar panel here, right? So you've got these different sidebar items that are persistent; they're always on. And so they're kind of, context sensitive to whatever you're currently looking at, for the most part, not always the way Visual Studio Code does, but it's one of the distinctions that I think we're going to make. So for example, if I search and find something, I don't have anything open, I'd have to open a project or something useful to have it do much. But the idea is that whatever project I'm looking at, in my current tab, I can maybe search and find all of the instances of something in there. So likewise in Binary Ninja, maybe you've got all of the types for the binary that you're currently looking at, maybe on the sidebar, right? Because you can probably fit most of the type information there, or at least filter it down. And then sometimes it's nice not to flip back and forth between the types view. Snippets are another one. The snippet editor in Binary Ninja, which I think I have installed. Right, it's a great feature. You've got all sorts of and all of that syntax highlighting looks pretty good with reflection. I don't know if I've tried that recently. And so the little pieces of Python code that you kind of want to run, but right now it's this little dialog box. There is a branch you can test where it's a dock widget, and then you could kind of move it around. So maybe you've got it docked over on the side or something, but it doesn't fit real well as a dock widget right now, the way that it's built. But I think that's another one that would look really good as a sidebar. So maybe you have your file browser up top here, and then below it you've got your box, your Python you're writing. So being able to see that at the same time. There's all sorts of stuff, tags, cross-references, things that would belong over here, I think will become part of this new UI refactor. So you've got these little icons, you've got the panels you can switch between. There's still some experimentation with this. We don't have it exactly figured out. This is going to be one of the things we're going to try it. We're going to see it, see what works and what doesn't. But the current plan is that this 3.0 refactor is going to really change the way the sidebar works. We'll probably still leave things like the scripting console and the log window at the bottom. Even Visual Studio Code does that. If you do like a build or you create a terminal, it still like actually pops those up kind of at the bottom. So it's pretty consistent with the way we do things as well. Something like a feature map is very equivalent to a scroll bar. So, if you're editing a file and they've got the little mini map here on the side, that's very similar to how our feature map would work. Oh, that's very, I don't remember what I was doing here, but testing something out. It's interesting. You don't get a mini map on their README here, huh? Release notes. So yeah, that's the big 3.0 refactor. There's a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff that comes along with that. One thing that I think I may have mentioned on stream before that kind of irks me is right now I'm looking at this binary that I've got open, and if I open a new tab, the new tab widget doesn't have that sidebar. So now what was on the left side of the screen has moved off the edge, and now the tabs have rearranged themselves, right? So I can't just click a tab and it stays in the same place. Things are kind of bouncing around. So that's another kind of minor thing that we're not real pleased with the current design. And of course that panel sidebar will move a lot of these things on the side to just be fixed panels that you would switch between, but they're always there. And then that would mean that the tabs stay consistent. So maybe they're empty, like if you're on the types view, much like if you're in Visual Studio Code and you're on find, but then you open a new tab. Why is Control T not doing what I expect? That's weird. New. Oh, Control N. There we go. Yeah, like there's no find results, whereas maybe there were find results for this. So you'll see that that's kind of context sensitive to whatever you have currently selected. So likewise, you might see that with binary gel. Like if I'm on the remote browser or if I'm on the plugin manager, the plugin manager itself maybe actually belongs in the sidebar. We don't know. Some of those we're gonna have to kind of experiment with. So, okay, all that to say, that was the big change for 3.0. And we actually looked back over what we've done with the current builds, and we looked at how much work we think is left in 3.0 and decided, let's get a release out sooner. So the current plan is we're going to do a new stable release called 2.4. And everything that we've previously done to this point is... Actually, here, let me change this filter. And we'll just look at the issues we've got tagged as 2.4. And then actually, let's go look at 3.0 as well on the side. So 3.0, technically, there's a lot of things that we're aimed more for 3.0, but they're already done. So they're just in the 2.4 as a closer. John, you did not miss a collaboration demo, but you did miss getting some shout outs. So you missed me talking all about you and all the good work you've done. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I complained about it, but now you have to go back and watch the VOD to figure it out. Or actually, I guess you can just step backwards in the stream. I said nice things. I did not talk badly about you at all. I showed off all sorts of stuff that you did. This is now the new 3.0, and these milestones are not set in stone. They never are, even though they're called milestones, funnily enough. And so 2.4. You'll see is, let's see, 7 open bugs and 59 closed, right? So 2.4 is actually pretty close. There's a lot less features that are waiting on a 2.4. And once we ship 2.4, we'll go back and we'll probably add some to the 3.0 release cycle, things that we plan to get that. But the major UI refactor is not going to be coming then in the 2.4. That'll hold off for the 3.0, as well as any of the kind of breaking API changes. So the only things left are a couple bugs. I think we need to make one for I'm going to make a note of it, the plugin manager. I mentioned earlier on the stream, the plugin manager defaults on Mac and Windows dependency installation. It doesn't currently work. I think that one needs to be on the 2.4 as well, but ooh, I've been talking a lot. Creating auto structs is coming. Yeah. Edit function UI. So this is another one that John's actually working on. This is the being able to like pull up a function and say, tell me everything you know about this particular function. What's the type of this function? What are the variables of this function potentially, or what are the properties of it? Is it a no return, or does it have, there's all sorts of stuff you can do for that. And so just having like one UI where you can maybe look at all that stuff in one instead of getting it to right now via the API is the only real way you can get that. So that's another one that's coming. And as I said, that auto struct, which is actually already kind of a lot of the pieces are ready or close to ready. That one should be coming soon. And then a couple of other bugs that are going to get fixed. So that one's actually looking pretty close to coming out. So we'll probably have, what is the current release date actually on? 2.4 still says June 1st. Yeah. So we'll see. We need to, we're going to replan out and figure out exactly what those are. Like I said, we're going to rebalance some of these potentially and especially after we do 2.4, we'll probably pull in some more 3.0 features and reevaluate what's going there. But when we put together a blog post and go over all the major features, there's a lot. I mean, you've seen like every one of these videos the last couple of weeks, there's like some really nice features that have landed. So I'm super happy with 2.4, even not having the UI refresh. I think it's going to still be a pretty major release with like, you just look at what's landed on it. There's a ton of stuff. So excuse me. All right. So that's our recap for the week. That is our milestone rebalancing. I talked about how the schedule, again, weekly, we're going to be moved to every other week schedule for the videos. All right, what do we got next? Next, we're going to do Binary Ninja Basics. So let me get set up on that, and then I'll give the intro for that one. Where's the binary? Here we go. That it? No. Oh, samples. There we go. I'm gonna put up this one, and we're gonna put up this one, and I'm gonna reset the window layout because I want this to look as kind of vanilla as possible. So this should be plain and unflavored. This is going to be just the Binary Ninja get out of the box. And again, the idea behind Binary Ninja Basics is that we take just some concept or workflow and we work through the ways that you would deal with strings or basics of working with plugins or all the different views or opening files, right? Those are some of the other ideas. So this week's Binary Ninja Basics is going to be on patching files, all the ways that you can modify things with Binary Ninja. And this is actually one of my favorite topics. I wrote a blog post on it actually a couple of years ago because there's a lot of ways to patch in Binary Ninja. And I think a lot of people don't realize how many there actually are. So this is always a fun one to go through. And I want to pull up that blog post in the background because I want to make sure that I've got my list and I don't forget some of the ways that we can do things. I'm trying to think if there's any new ways. I think this is mostly still the case. There we go. All right. So the first way, and so I've also got these binaries here that's actually, I'm going to open them in a separate folder so I can make changes locally. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. How big is that folder? That folder is pretty big. Let's just do this. This is a little safer. All right. Challenge1.elf, challenge2.elf. I may even have showed these exact binaries off on stream. I like using these samples at all. Absolutely, Game Mind. You're very welcome. Thank you for asking the question. Full paths work in the file name box. Which file, like the Binja file name? Like this one? Oh yeah, you can just like type in there. All right, so let's open challenge1.elf and let's run challenge1.elf. So this is a very very simple binary. Oh, that's interesting, right? So I ran it a bunch, I gave it a bunch of input, and then until I typed a number, nothing happened. So it looks like it's scanning for some sort of number, and then if you get the number right, you succeed, and if you get it wrong, you failed. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to patch this binary. I like to make it always succeed. There's a lot of reasons you might want to patch a binary. Maybe you're fixing a bug. Maybe I've got a CTF binary and you're trying to patch out the fork or the drop prids or some other behavior that only makes sense to that infrastructure. Or maybe you actually are trying to manually port some fix. You've got a compiled application that the manufacturer's out of business and they've got an old OpenSSL and you need to try to port some patch from like a known existing code base into an existing binary, which can be very difficult. So there's a lot of reasons you might want to do it. In this particular case, I just always want to succeed at this check, right? You might also think of this as like a kind of a simple crack read. So patching, again, there's just a bunch of ways we can do it. One of the ways is we can just edit the raw hex itself, right? So if I'm actually looking at I hit I to switch over to assembly, and I look and I see jump if they're not equal, and it's going to jump over this great job you succeeded. So I know at this exact offset right here, I can just knock out these two particular bytes, right? So I can take this address here. Oops, actually navigated to it. Take this address, hit Control-Shift-A, I'm going to copy the address, and then I'm going to go to the hex editor view. And actually, you notice it still already has those 2 bytes selected, which is nice. It maintains that selection. And I know that if I just type 90s, that's a good thing I copied that address. If I just type hex 90, oh, file lock is on. You notice the file lock was popping up at the bottom. So you got to remember, if you're going to edit the file, you disable the file lock by clicking on the bottom right. And then if I just type 90 over it, oh, it helps if you're actually in the raw view. And let me test this. So let's do this. We're in the hex editor. We're going to go to raw view because we need to edit the... And I cheated a little bit here, right? Because the raw view and the native view, I could have actually figured out the address of the raw view. There's even a snippet that'll copy it, the address using the segment mappings, but I just kept it there. And so I should be able to type directly in my hex directly over this this binary. And so now I'm going to go ahead and save it as, we're going to save the file context only challenge1 dash raw bytes. And let's see if my hex setting skills are up to par. Make it executable. And I've succeeded, right? So obviously I can use Binary Ninja as a hex editor. That's the least interesting way probably to patch bytes, but it works. Yeah, now here's the fun ways though, right, to do it, right? So let's go back and go to the original unpatched binary. Let's go back to that address. Actually, let's just go to the same offset. Here's another way that we can patch this particular binary, right? Like I knew x86 nop off the top of my head was hex 90. A lot of people do, but maybe you don't know the nop instruction for your particular architecture. So there's 2 ways that we can, actually 3 ways that we can now patch the assembly, just knowing that this particular branch needs to be nopped, right? So one way is we can hit E. And if we hit E in the disassembly view, we can literally just retype that instruction. So I'm going to turn that jump not equal into a nop. Now, a jump not equal, short jump not equal in x86 is 2 bytes. Nop is 1, but it's smart. Binary Ninja will pad this out and will replace both of those bytes with 2-byte nops, right? So that got us the exact same effect that we got by going to the hex editor, going to that address and typing 90s, but I could just hit E and edit the bytes there. I can also undo that. If I go to edit, assemble, here's another way that I can patch a binary. I can actually assemble like a blob of x86 or whatever the architecture is. I happen to know x86 assembly better, so I'd have a hard time doing it if it was a different architecture. I could paste in some larger chunk of assembly, put it in the assemble dialog, and write that directly over that. It's also worth noting that I can trigger that via the command palette. So Control P, assemble. It's even got a hotkey there you saw. I could assemble a different architecture. maybe this is a virtual machine and it's got multiple architectures, and I could assemble a different one at that particular offset, and that would work fine as well. Although if I hit E and I just edit the line, it's only going to do the native architecture of whatever that view already is. And that, I think, by the way, that's cool. I haven't tried that yet, but that's another new feature. Another way you can edit is select multiple lines, hit E, and you're going to get the assemble dialog box for the multi-line selection, right? So you can edit a chunk of assembly instead of just triggering the assemble dialog over top. You can start with what was already there if you want to change things. That's really nice. It's a way that I haven't used recently. Okay, so I'm going to undo both that change. There's another set of patches we can do, and if you actually look, I've kind of been cheating a little bit and not using. There's a patch menu, and this actually gives us a lot of hints of ways that we can do these particular changes. So these are all the assembly level patches that we can do. You'll notice these are the ones I already showed. So I've shown you assemble, I've shown you edit current line, just compile C source. We'll get to that in a little bit, but it's what it sounds like. And then we've got the ways that you can modify branches. So you can always branch, invert branch, or never branch. And you'll see I've got never branch marked to delete right now. Right, so if there is a conditional thing, I can hit delete on it, and it will. Actually, that might even be default, and I can hit delete, and it converts it to a NOP right there. I actually prefer a slightly different. Mapping. So I'm gonna take and search for NOP, convert to NOP. Oh, that's right. No, sorry, I do have it bound. This is not default. So I've bound delete to convert to NOP. It just so happens that don't take the branch is equivalent to convert to NOP, and the architecture actually knows this, and so the UI shows them both with the same hotkey, which is kind of nice. But I can hit delete, and all it's going to do is everything that I have selected, it's going to convert that to a NOP. Now, the really, really cool thing about this is that works at higher levels. I can actually be in the IL view, and I could find something where it says printf format password is, and I can delete that whole line. Right? Like I'm deleting the high-level IL, and it just is patching all of the associated instructions. So let's put like a reflection view, and let's actually look at what happened there, right? Because I like this particular. So I've got the password is, and let's switch this over to disassembly. Right. So I've got the printf, but I've also got the load into EDI. And in other architectures, maybe I have some pushes or putting things on the stack, depending on the calling convention. But when I actually NOP this out, you'll see in this case, the EDI it leaves alone. It doesn't need to do anything with that, but it NOPs out the appropriate number of bytes for the call. And again, if I was on like 32-bit x86 and it was pushing arguments, it will actually do the stack. It will actually fix up by like deleting all the stack pushes that were related to that too. So it's going to NOP out the appropriate instructions. So like being able to like delete things at like a higher level. Yeah, when I say there's 2 ways, 3 ways, there's actually like 16 ways of patching files. But, and of course, all of these are backed by the API, right? So literally every one of these things take an architecture and just convert some number of bytes to an op. All that is backed by the same API and is architecture agnostic, right? So you can do that in all the architectures that implement these methods. And so all of our core architectures implement these methods. Not all third-party architectures might. Some of the knowledge of how to invert a branch, for example, and to assemble over top of it that way. Those are methods that architectures don't necessarily have to implement. They're just kind of nice to have. So you get those in some of our built-in ones. So anyways, I really like it feels like a superpower to me to like just be reading some high-level IL and then just hit delete on something and then save it and run it. So for example, I've gotten rid of the password prompt. Let's save this binary again, and let's try that as well. Save the file contents, and call it superpower. And I've got no prompt, right? It deleted the prompt, but I can still give it the data. All right, like, so I think that was a fun one. All right, so we've covered how you can use the hex editor. You can use the right-click patch menu, which actually includes a couple of the ones actually I didn't even show, right? So I talked about the other ones down here, but I didn't actually show invert branch and always branch, right? So the nice thing is if that's a jump not equal, I can invert the branch and turn it into a jump equal, or jump 0, jump not 0, and x86, x64, those are the same. That one's like a nice little bit of capability. And I can also say just never branch or always branch, turn to a conditional jump. So you can really quickly modify control flow just using that, knowing nothing about the architecture. So this has actually been used in an old blog post we did on deobfuscating obfuscated architectures, where they had opaque predicates, which are branches that the person writing it knows the result ahead of time. And so it's always going to go down one branch, and so then they'll just put garbage down the other one, whereas the static analysis tool might not understand what it's doing, and so it will be bogged down analyzing all the garbage down once, down all these broken branches. And so Binary Ninja can use its program analysis and actually say, yeah, I'm never going to go down that branch. That's not possible. That you just XOR EX, and then you compared it to like 0. That's always true. And so it's going to, and you could patch the branches knowing the state of the branches. Yeah, and of course, John said it. If you can do it in the UI, you can do it in the API as well. Like the UI is just a sort of thin wrapper for the same API. So, got the branch changes. You've got the assemble dialog, which brings up a block of assembly. You've got the edit current line or edit multi-line if you select the multiple lines of them. And then finally, you've got the C source code, right? So if I wanted to actually replace this whole function here, right? And so I actually go to like the start of the function. Let's actually switch over, make sure we're in disassembly view, and go to the very beginning. And I'm going to use the command palette, but again, you get this from the right-click patch menu. You can get it from the edit menu as well. Compile C source is also got a hotkey, Control-Alt-C, and that will let me. Oh, clearly I was doing something fun over here with Quark. So it remembers my last. Let's do this. It's int32 t main, and we're going to return. Right. All right. So this is our new function. We're going to call this x64 with no platform information. Compile that. And I did something wrong. Just wanted 32 or let's do syntax. Oh, right. Semicolon. Somebody get chat. Oh, good. I beat chat. Oh man. All right. If chat beat me, I'd be embarrassed, but I got it before the chat delay. Okay, so I basically just replaced this functionality with, not a particularly interesting bit of code. All right, Game Mind. I know, I barely beat you. So, not a particularly interesting bit of code, but you can do much more complicated pieces of code, and it's built right in. Shellcode compiler actually has its own help documentation. I've touched on it before on stream. We'll probably do a whole nother Binary Ninja Basics as well, just on shellcode compiler. But that's some of the many ways that you can patch or modify binaries. There's one last kind of related capability that I like to talk about, though. It's not directly related to the patching itself, but it is using Binary Ninja as sort of like a, let's see here. So let's do this. Let's go back to our window. Let's close key bindings. Oh, actually, I think I have minimal. Yeah, minimal layout. And we're going to do a window, split to new window, right? So I'm going to take the same binary, I'm going to split it to the new window, and I'm going to load the minimal layout again. But the idea now is if I go to the top of the binary, so on the linear view in one side, and then on the hex editor view on the other, I'm looking at the same data, right? But one of them has the bytes, just as the hex view, and the other one has it decomposed with the types that I've got on top of it. And so this is a little bit like, O and O. So for example, let's take the entry point right here, right? And if I'm at the entry point and I modify the bytes, oh, here we go, hold on. Still in hex. Go to raw view. There we go. So the entry point was right here. And I start modifying values here. You notice as soon as I change the byte here, this actually changed where I'm now pointing, right? And so you can actually see the decomposition of bytes kind of as they happen with whatever types and structures you've got defined. So it's just using the hex editor. We already talked about that, but I just think it's nifty to be able to see that kind of happen live as you change the decomposition. You can't do it the other way around. I can't like actually edit the type and have it work the other way yet. At some point, that would be a cool feature, but It's not there now. And of course, there's also the Kaitai plugin, which is a version of that, but even more powerful and supports other file formats. That's a plugin that Andrew built a while ago that you can install from the plugin manager. So that was it. A quick, relatively quick anyway, overview of a bunch of ways to edit a binary, to patch them up. And one good one is that new multi-line edit. So that's even a new one that didn't exist the last few times that I talked about this. So that's nice that you can multi-select and hit E. I think maybe Shusheng added that one. But that's a nice capability that didn't exist last time we talked about this. So, all right. Any other questions while I hydrate and caffeinate and hydrate and see if everybody else has thoughts before we move on to our next topic? Everybody getting ready for the weekend? Yeah, good question, Redbeard. So the question there is, do we plan to add a search bar? So if I go to the strings view, there's already a search here. You just have to start typing for it to appear. So if I type glib, for example, it's there. It's just not shown by default. And that is an oversight. Yeah, we absolutely believe that that should be probably shown by default, because it's otherwise people don't know it's there. They don't even know to use it. And this is actually true of several different places. So we've also got that if I, in the function list, same thing, just start typing, _start, right? And so I'm going to get filtering and searching of that one there. And I think if you hit Control F in the strings view, does it do that? No, it brings up the full search. Yeah. So again, it's a little ambiguous, right? Like if you do a Control F, it's actually going to search just the whole binary. It's not necessarily like searching amongst the strings view. So we would like to consolidate kind of all these little filter boxes that we have and make them potentially like on by default, or have a setting where you could turn them off if you don't like them, and probably make them on by default. Because I think it's too hard to find that. I think a lot of people don't know and would rather have one extra line taken up to know that there's a search box always on there. You could always just type fgets or whatever you want to search for, and it will come up. But yeah, I think that one should be a little bit obvious, or should be more obvious. You are not the only person to have that question. Absolutely. And I think that may even be tagged for the 3.0 release as a part of the UI overhaul, is kind of more consistent filter search pop-up type stuff. We've debated, GameMind, we have debated whether or not you overwrite multiple bytes should provide a warning. But undo is fast and easy, unless it's a monstrous function. So right now we mostly just tell people. Now what we do, you will notice though, even if you do so, let's test this. This should work. Like, let's say I overwrite, if I multi-line edit this line, right? So this is 6 bytes originally, and I tell it, move EAX, which 32-bit is 5 bytes. I actually don't know on 64-bit if it's going to be. Right, it is good. So you'll notice that it properly padded out to the next, to the length there, but it will also, if I overwrite the next thing, it will also pad out to that. It won't necessarily tell me. So if I change this to right, I'm obviously going to overwrite more than was there before. And so it will realign me to the next instruction by padding it out, but it doesn't tell me like, hey, by the way, you just blew away another instruction. It was just sort of a conscious choice because, all right, it's fast, and we hope people would sort of notice or look. We have thought about it. It's been asked before, but at least anyway now I don't think we have plans to change it. We might put that behind like a preference though. If people want that on, they could like warn me if I edit past current instruction. It would be pretty easy to implement. I think when we first decided not to do it is because it was like early enough we didn't even have the full settings system that we have now, where it's easier to tweak it according to your preferences. All right, and let me see if anybody is joining. So the next task up was to, let's see if any other Vector 35 people are going to join me on stream. because I am run down. It's been a long week. This is also why I'm caffeinating. All right, no one's joining me yet. Yeah, yeah, it's a fair question. Like I said, game mind, like that, hey, like hold my hand. Although I will actually say the main thing is remember the. Uh, Actually, wait a minute. Interesting. File. Okay, so file lock doesn't prevent explicit assembly, which I think is probably okay, because you literally have to select something or select something, hit E and hit enter. So the default file lock is more against like accidental overwrites, like pasting a value or typing when you're in hex view and not realizing that you've just edited a value, and less about like compilation. For a second, I was going to say that the file lock would stop accidental overwrites, but I mean, and I still think it does. It just, again, if you overwrite more than you intended, yeah, I mean, it's already hard. So, all right, let's see. The other possibility is too, so we have been running our collaboration beta, and so there is a, let's see. Yeah, this one. This is the collaboration server. And I don't think anybody's uploaded anything else new. Yeah, so this is actually a version of Binary Ninja connected to our beta collaboration server. We have one online. And if you're interested in joining our beta collaboration server, the only requirement is you do currently have to have a commercial license. Collaboration will first be coming out for our enterprise version of the product, but we do plan to have it come out in some form for all of our users too. Just trying to figure out what the details of that look like. But been playing around with that a lot and testing it, and I thought I might work on the crazy bomb exercise a little bit more. But man, I keep getting. I know I haven't seen Fox on stream yet, so Fox is usually the one who's wanting to see me suffer on it. I really would prefer to suffer with somebody else on the hook with me, so I have somebody to talk on a chat with it. It's hard to both monitor the stream, provide running commentary, and do RE all at the same time. So I might actually, I'm curious, amongst the people on the stream, how many saw the Among Them challenge last week? Because I might actually just kind of do an overview of that, because I want to show off some things that I think are pretty nice about it. I did not build things to break Ida or Ghidra, even though I suspected Chris Eagle would use Ida, but I did think about it. It was tempting. But yeah, so GameMind saw it. I'm curious if anybody else did not see it, that's my preference, is I might just do that binary because I know it a little better and I can show it off a little bit. And we'll look at, like I said, I can talk about some of the things I think Binary Ninja does pretty cleanly. It was fun. I used, yes, so JC, I called the challenge Among Them. It is a spoof of Among Us, which is funny because you can even see there's like the little character here. No, okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about that game mind because that was not a trick. That was just Ida messing up. It looks fine in Binja. It looks fine in Source. Ida was just wrong. There are things Ida does better though than Binja on this particular binary. So I took some snapshots of latest Ida decomp and latest Binary Ninja decomp straight out of the box and analyzed them both side by side, and I'm pretty happy. I think Binja stands up really well. The only things that Ida did clearly better were sort of automatically identifying some of the array accesses, like so turning. I don't remember why there's worms. Uh-oh, somebody's joined. This is why I got the headphones on. Let me go see here.
I'm here to save the day again.
Yay, we got Josh here. All right, so let me see if I can capture. Do you want your video or are you just going to be audio? Can people hear Josh on the stream?
I'm probably going to be audio only on this.
That's fine. Okay. All right. Well, that means I don't have to mess with my layout, so that's fine. Hopefully somebody from the stream will chime in if they can hear you. Actually, I can double check. Say something? Josh, are you there?
No, I just checked back in the VOD. I can hear myself.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, sweet. All right. Oh, well, see, does that mean I got to do Crazy Bomb then? We're gonna go dive into that, or well, we could do Among Them really fast. It's pretty easy. I'll show off just the quick among them stuff, and then we'll go play with Crazy Bomb, and take a poke at that again. I don't even remember where we're at on it. So one thing, and actually it's good that you're on, Josh, because you added some of our Unicode multi-code block like support, where you could add support for any different of these Unicode encodings, which is what makes the Braille stuff look so good. So this is like the Braille emoji
Yeah,
Among
no,
Us
you can just
character.
see the main menu there.
Yeah, so this worked really well. Now I did have to do one thing though. I did make two changes. So the Binja didn't do that right out of the gate. Neither did Ida. I want to point out Chris Siegel had the same problem. And then I think Igor actually like DM'd him. It was like, you need to change this setting, because he even asked on stream. He was like, I don't know how to get that to display. But so you'll see this. This is one setting I changed. It's not default, which is I added Braille patterns to the Unicode block. You can actually add all of these if you really want. It'd be nice if there was an add all button, come to think of it. But like, if you know something is using particular encodings, you could add all of them to it, and Binary Ninja will automatically look for strings that would match that encoding, basically, and display them for you. And so that's what will get it recognizing the Braille, right? So that shows that. The other thing I did is the default string annotation length is much shorter, and so see, minimum string length is 4. That's there we go, rendering. And this is specifically just a sort of UI display feature of like, if I've got a string reference in high level IL or in the IL as I'm rendering it, up to how many characters do you want to show? And that is much smaller by default. It is 32 by default, and I cranked it way up to 200. Just because I really wanted that beautiful wide menu to be shown. And I even had I think if you look in the, oh, that's right. This is the other thing that I want to do in this particular view, is I want to show what we missed out on Chris Eagle's stream, because he missed some of the Easter eggs that I put in here for him. I was hoping he would hit these on stream. So you can see all the strings in here. You can see like the dead character, or he's just got X'd eyes when you died. This one doesn't have all of that. Hold up. This is the old version of the binary. Let me make sure I have the latest one. Samples among them. Okay. So let's do this, actually. So Josh, if you're looking at the binary on the server, I'm going to upload a new one. So
cool. I'm actually building.
Oh, good. All right. Well, good. Then you must. I'm going to delete the old one, and I'm going to upload a new file, and I'm going to go samples among them. I put in samples? No, I just put it in stream. No, I did put it in. Typing something. Oh, did I copy the whole folder? No, I copied the binary. Stream samples among them. All right. And you'll notice, by the way, like I like to, that's really fast. That binary is quick. Not particularly huge, but it loads nice. Yeah, okay, there we go. This has the debug references. So you can tell I didn't cheat because I uploaded the binary fresh. And all right, let's do disassembly and high level IL up here. Let's go back and look in the there we go. Okay. Yeah, so here was my Easter eggs that didn't make it onto stream because Chris didn't poke around in linear view between functions enough to see some of these unreferenced strings that I left in the binary. So one thing I want to show you in Binja is if you just select them all and hit A, it's kind of nice. It'll like create C-style strings of like multiple things in a row. So did you know at certain optimization levels the compiler leaves in dead code and unreferenced strings? Question mark. Like, clearly that is an unreferenced string. It's just a variable that I defined in the source. But if I would have done like OS or any O2 or any of these other optimization levels, the compiler would have removed it. It said there's no usage of this variable, but it left it in. So sure, make an IDA book and a Geeter book. Where's the Binary Ninja book? I had to give Chris a hard time about that. And then I think there's one other one. So if we scroll through and here's the actually better use is the feature map is probably a really good place for this, because you can see like the elf headers, you can see the list of imports, you can see a couple of like the PLT entries, you've got early code, you've got a table of strings, and then you've got this is the braille string, right? So it's hard to read. There's the x.i's, so it doesn't actually render it there. But let's actually close reflection down. So here's a good one where this is actually a string table. So like all of the names for the tasks, and again, I can just hit A to make them all strings, even though they're not directly referenced, and so Binary doesn't create strings individually. And you'll notice that this is one of these extra tasks here at the end. No, GameMind, he does not use Binary Ninja. I've known Chris for 20 years now, almost. I think I've known him for a long time. I ran into him like literally at my very first DEF CON, and like neither one of us like remembered it until years later, and we're like, I think we've met already. So he's just kind of, he's like, I got too many tools I've learned and things to worry about. Like he had used, Geeter was free and open source, and there were people like asked him to write a book on that. So, and he, was only a co-author on that one. So I keep trying to convince him to do it, but he hasn't yet. So Redbeard, another thing you're thinking is a feature to change or select the size of a function. Oh, okay. Now you've hit a hot topic for me. So explain more.
Oh no.
Explain more what you mean by the size of a function.
Jordan, can you just save real fast?
Oh yeah, all my changes. Sure, done.
Yeah.
Upload them.
Yep.
Okay. Did you want to make sure you were connected, or did you just send me something in the binary? Do I need to?
Oh no, I just want to be sure this build works with
Oh, okay, yeah.
The server version we're on.
Okay. So, and the reason I ask, Redbeard, and the reason that some people are saying, "Oh no," is because it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine that I think that people describe. Oh, you know what? I don't know if, yeah, the UI font stuff won't change the font here. But all right, so let's go to a function here, for example. Let's actually go to main, because that's a non-trivial function. And let's look at this like an assembly graph view, right? So we're looking at the actual kind of bytes. Close enough anyway. Zoom out. Oh yeah, that's one of the things about, we need to, Josh already has the fix for this. The width calculation of the characters is off because of the Unicode encoding, and there's a fix for that. We just gotta land it. And you'll see the reason that we don't have that string size cranked up so huge is that there's long strings that makes the basic blocks really big, even though the rest of the code is not. Yeah, that was pretty fast sync there, right? Pretty seamless. And again, we're running this over like, an internet connected server, so this is not like we're on a LAN or anything. Now this is a relatively small challenge too. So the binary, the BNDB, it's gonna be pretty little here, so it should be pretty fast, I would hope. So the reason that I ask Redbeard is, or do you prefer bulk? Redbeard bulk? Let me know what your preferred handle would be. But the current function object in Binary Ninja has a thing called total bytes, and that's literally actually, I think, current function.basic blocks. I take a basic block and I think there's this size in the basic block, or is there a byte? I mean, there's just the ends minus current function dot basic blocks 0 dot start, right? So this is the number of bytes in that basic block. And if I basically do that same thing over all of the basic blocks of the function, I get the sum of the bytes of the basic blocks of the function. Maybe that's what you mean by total size. But that's going to be different in some cases than the highest address minus the lowest address, which is another potential size of the function, right? So you'll notice up here, the total bytes is 1124, and the highest minus lowest is 1123. Now, in this case, it may mean they're essentially equivalent, but it's just, depending on how you're counting, there's an off by one. But you can have discontiguous blocks. You can have data inlined in between basic blocks. This happens actually a lot on ARM. Compilers are starting to do like common function epilogues, where like if several functions end the same way, they'll all just jump over to one piece of code way far away, and then that's where they're actually returned from. And that will completely throw off all these calculations. So Binary Ninja does not let you tell it what a function is. You tell it where the function starts, and it will just do its analysis and find all the code paths through that function, create all the basic blocks, and that's the size of the function. So there's really no concept of like, no, I want to make that function longer. What you can do is you can change the control flow. Like if there is an indirect control flow that is improperly calculated, there's ways you can change that to say, no, go find these other basic blocks, and then it will just, the analysis will continue and we'll update it and figure that stuff out. But there's really no concept of like, add these bytes to this function, because the question is, well, how are they related to the rest of the basic blocks? Like the whole concept of a function is that it's a series of related basic blocks that are connected via some control flow, right? And so you can't like add new bytes to it without saying how they're related to the rest of it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now because, like I said, this is a rant I go on a lot, and so people on stream have heard it probably many times if they've been around frequently. But if you have an argument about why you should be able to edit the size of a function because there's functionality that you need for that, or because it fixes a bug or something, definitely let me know. I would love to hear it. Because we are, like I said, in the middle of working on that UI that would let us edit properties of the function. And so now's the time to do it. If there are things that we can add to it. But all right. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with my function size rant for now. We should just, somebody should get a timestamp and we should put it in the stream bot. Yeah, and on Slack it comes up, or on Twitter. Like I it's silly. It's very minor, but it's my thing. I gotta have my rant. All right. So Josh, do you want to look at? I don't think we need to do too much more than bung them necessarily at this point. I think we might just go to Crazy Bomb if you want to go to that.
Yeah, I mean that works.
All right. And I'm trying to remember, we were working on Crazy Bomb before together, right?
Yeah, I don't remember where we got to.
Right? Me either. I don't feel quite so bad. So I'm gonna upload that one as well. That's actually
cool.
That's actually a pretty big binary.
Oh damn.
But
yeah, when you finish initial analysis, if you wouldn't mind saving, just so I can start off from the same place.
So, yeah, so it doesn't identify most of the code. This is the one where it has like a big blob. This was there was like the XOR. Yeah, there's like the internal, like it's gonna decrypt something, and it had to like, there was the XOR, like some constant value, I want to say. So
oh yeah,
let's see. Also, this is the one that like I swear there's like image data encoded in it, and if you get the with it, it totally is, right? Like that's a 4 or an A.
That's Among Us.
No, this is the Crazy Bomb one. It
No,
does. It does look like the little character that almost doesn't. There's something in there. It's telling me image data. And welcome, Valgrind. I saw you come earlier. Yeah, exactly. My rant comes up occasionally. All right, so let's go to me. Let's start there. Initializing next day. Okay, so.
Oh wait, isn't this the one? It had like bad elf headers.
No, I don't think so. Was there?
Didn't it? Check your error log.
Oh.
Yeah, like one of the things was -1 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I think we don't need to worry about it yet. Yeah, exactly. I think it. So, and actually, so it does a puts. What is here? Oh. Oh, so these are no, what did I want to do? Asterisk? Oh, that's right. I remember doing this before. We make strings here. So make those strings. They'll show up as string references. I don't even think I have to make them pointers. No, it already works. And let's see. Yeah, it doesn't inline the strings because they're string pointers. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we should do like an override of the. So verify identity, password. Oh, no worries. Yeah, so Rebier, feel free to hop on Slack and chat some more though, because I would like to hear about potential other things. Oh, that's what I was going to mention too on Among Them real quick. The one function. So if you watch the stream, one of these functions had like a bizarre number of arguments in IDAS decomp. So this one looks like, I think this is CRC. And then this is, okay, so this is defeat. So this one's going to be CRC 32. And this is checksum. So this is the buffer. Oh, this is the task log, that's right. So it's the string of like the order that you do tasks, and it's gonna run that through a CRC32, and if it's equal to the checksum, if it's not equal to checksum, you go to defeat, otherwise you go here, and it creates this key. So the one thing that I mentioned earlier, IDA does better is it detects that this is essentially this here is the XXT, or one of the T encryption algorithms. And this is a key, which is an array. Yeah, actually it's that. And IDA basically gets the fact that this is an array of longs correctly. Like it auto-identifies that, which is nice. But the other thing that it did was it saw one of these earlier functions. I have to go back and look at the VOT, but it actually creates a totally incorrect number of, this is dots. It literally just displays dots and sleeps for that long. This is another one where like, oh, sleep for 1 second. Yeah, hit delete in Binja and patch it out, right? And then resave the binary is super nice. Which one is this one? Looks like the either CRC or the. Which one is that? Actually, I may have accidentally deleted the cross-reference that when I made some other change. Anyway, there was another function that I just like had like a bunch of arguments for. I must have just, I don't know why it got it wrong, but anyway, binary entry didn't. So anyway, okay, so let's go back to Crazy Bomb. Actually, I'm gonna save, push that if anybody else wants to play with that. Ooh, oh, you named it Task List. I like yours. Yeah, Task List is a better name. Good reversing. Thanks for.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I work on a reversing tool. Might have heard of it.
No, what's it called? Like, what's yeah.
Oh, it's called a Binary Ninja Cloud.
Oh, I see what you did there. All right. So password we decided was Freeman, and then was there like Oh, and by the way, I think I can do this too. So I can actually name variables the same thing now. Symbols, that's another change that is, I don't know if it was in the last 2 weeks, but it's relatively recently. Symbols can overlap. So let's see. Have you reversed more of this while I've been talking? Oh, fine. We'll go with your more verbose name. I'm okay with that. And let me catch up here. So I got Redbeard. So I'm curious what you mean about how the analysis is wrong, Redbeard, when um, if you have invalid code that's never executed right after a call. I mean, if the call is like a no return call. So yeah, so the binge away is instead of saying this function is only this many bytes big, you would just mark that call as no return. You can do it with the type system right now by just adding it as an attribute on the type. Once the type editor that's being worked on now is in as well, you'll just be able to like edit the function, click the check, and say it's no return, and that will just stop all analysis afterwards automatically. So you should be able to get anything that you would need to say the function is only this big for. You should be able to solve through controlling how the control flow works or influencing control flow. There's a couple different ways you can do that, and I would argue that's sort of like the better way. Maybe it's just a different way, but that's kind of how we would approach that if I'm understanding the problem correctly. So all right, didn't we decide there was like just like this XOR key?
Yeah, I think so. Or it was like a byte reversal or something.
Yeah, so it checks. So let me see here. Let's go run Crazy Bomb. And please verify identity. So FR33M4N. Oh, does it have like some sort of alarm in it? Oops, where am I? There we go. I don't see a SIG alarm in there. Hey, I didn't say you could pause. You get to walk through. I get to stop and turn around. He's just showing off now. That's my son allowed to walk through once a week. Yeah, I mean it compares the username to Freeman, but why did it bomb terminal stage crazy bomb? But like it's backgrounding? What in the world is it doing? I don't understand why it's doing that. That's a little weird. But it does look, yeah, it should just be. I don't know why. My box manager actually run it. It like backgrounds itself, but I don't see any timers unless it's doing that in some code that it unpacks or something. At least in the imports. If you just try to run it. I thought we ran it before and got past the first two stages, or maybe we just did it statically.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So in main, that syscall OX25 is alarm.
Oh, is there a?
Yeah.
There we go. And actually, yeah, we should actually. So there's OX65. Do we not have? I thought we had types on syscalls that would annotate.
I think we do for common ones.
Apparently not for 2.9 SRAND. Okay, so call SRAND, but call with const value. Okay. What is this call? OX65.
ptrace.
Yes. And then
I'm just gonna patch that with a little arm too.
now here's a question. Actually, I don't know. This is a good collab question.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, GameMind. GameMind pulled up that that offset. Okay, so the function is 4013 EDT2. Yeah, it's got one argument, which is the number of dots that you're supposed to call. Like I set the dots. I named dots, but I named working on when I saw this like working on message, but I didn't do like that was the analysis out of the box. So I have no idea why IDA like I mean again to be fair like decompilation's hard. There are things that IDA still does better than Binja, but I was very happy when I looked over. If you compare the output right out of the box on both of these, and you know again with any tool you have the ability to like any good tool you have the ability to like change types, change how the analysis happens to fix up and improve things. But yeah, there's something, and I didn't do anything either weird too. Like this binary was compiled with, do I have the source code around here? That's not the right one. There we go. Yeah, this is also on, yeah, that'll work. See this syntax. Ooh, that's not readable. Let's try this. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So the dots one is finish task. I mean, it takes a struct. Oh, I think that's because it took the struct itself as opposed to a pointer to the struct. And I'd have freaked out. But yeah, that's exactly what it was. And Ben just says, yeah, Binja essentially just ignored the other stuff that wasn't used. It's like, yeah, there's other stuff passed in, but that's not used because it's the whole structure gets passed in and only the time field gets used. So Binja just created that argument by noticing it flowed into this one and then throwing away the rest. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that's kind of on me for being a bad coder. Like that should have been just a pointer to the structure. But yep. But yeah. So and this actually goes there is a little bit of a philosophical debate we sometimes have about like when binary ninja like sees things not being used and like how much should it throw things away and not show that. Sometimes you get better results this way. Sometimes you get better results by letting the user fix like the analysis because maybe there really is something going on that you want to show. And I could set the type with that structure information. I could create all that and have that get fixed up here and have it show me that it's actually the time property on that structure. But anyway, back to Crazy Bomb. All right, so let me see if you made any other headway on this thing.
Yeah, I kind of did something cursed. I patched, undid, repatched to something different. So wait, did you already pull?
No, I have not.
Try it. Hope it works.
This crashes. This is on you, man.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
All right, check out main.
So, and actually, let me turn off show variables.
Oh, sick! It did work. Okay. Yeah, I just increased the timeout.
Oh, yeah, there we go. 1337. What a strange number.
kind of keyboard mashed.
I mean, we could just like delete it.
Nah.
Wait, I kind of want to see if this works though. So if I just hit delete and then you
That
let
looks so wrong.
right? Hold on, save file contents as, and we're gonna call this C bomb timeout, and let's see if I broke it. I mean, it looks like it's working. I'm
Yeah, it
telling you,
should.
I
Just
love
to
that. I love delete is patch bytes, and like in high level IL being like delete.
just seeing it disappear, just
It feels like a superpower. It really does. It's my favorite stupid binary ninja trick. All right. So now we've got time. Username's Freeman. And where did that comparison go? Congratulations, here's your reward. So this is success. But I don't see any references to success, so got some control flow we're missing. Oh, these look like color code.
yeah, they are.
It's just a bunch of color stuff
They're
that
wrapped
I'm not
standard out
gonna.
in that a lot.
Yeah. All right, so back to main. So we're just prompting that. And then what was this one? This one is just another one of their little color things. Initializing next stage. Okay, so initializing next stage, it doesn't. Oh, stage one is actually further up. Oh, check identity is the one that does all this stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, so check identity is the one we're asking you for Freeman. And then, all right, where does password come through though? So, uh, minus 15, not equal to 15. So that's hex 30. It's not equal to hex 0. ASCII 0. One of these had that XOR check. So let's see. There's our verify identity username, verification, verify identity password. Right. So this is. Oh, right. So verified identity username was up here, and then verified identity password is down here. But this says password prompt special. Oh, that's right. Setting up for this one. So this was right. Bomb terminal stage 1. So this is input. This is like generic input here. All right. So let's see. Oh, I don't like that. It navigated me away. I thought you fixed that.
What happened?
I synced and it like navigated me somewhere else.
Oh, did he save before?
Yeah, I saved and it synced. And it made me go bye-bye.
No, no. That's weird.
Oh, and
It
that
should be.
definitely is stage number, by the way, because input takes that as an argument because it displays your stage number. So I'm gonna push that. Oh yeah, it did it again. It keeps navigating me away. So yeah, so if I look at the input calls, and then it asks me to stage 1 again for password. So like you can get a different variable that it writes to. All right, so it compares Freeman down here. This looks like stuff that got XOR'd.
Yeah. No, there's just that 5BA900, I think, is the password.
5BA880, maybe?
880. Hmm.
Hold on, I just lost it. Where'd it go? Oops.
Oh no, this is just the -15 thing.
Oh, that looks like flag F something FLAG. No, that was something else.
Nah.
So that whole thing just gets minus by
No, that
15.
5BA900. Everything is -15.
Oh yeah, you can see that. You can see that because it's like just a bunch of nulls.
Yeah, and that it's just like looping over and doing that before reading it.
HSCTF, it's not going to be that easy. Just notice that one. It's fake file. Oh, you named it already. Yeah. Yeah. So if I want to, let's see, let's do this. Current selection. So it's going to give me the start and end address, and I can do bv s equals that bv.read address and length. So the address is s sub 0, and the length is s sub 1 minus s sub 0.
I think I have too much selected.
Do I? I have every. I mean, it's all 15s. See, I'm not convinced. I think this
Oh,
thing is
true.
also like all the 15s are all throughout here. So, and actually down to here even.
Yeah,
So,
try it out.
so come to think of it, it could be as even as early as back here. It could be off like this. This even.
Jordan, I think you have a guest in the chat asking a question.
It looks like I do. Yeah, he wants to watch Lord of the Rings, and I told him that the stream went too late. We would not have time to watch that tonight.
Oh, we can cut it whenever.
Well, we'll watch. It just means we're gonna watch. Hey, Fox, you should be excited about what we're working on. We're re-remembering all the stuff we've forgotten from before.
Redoing all the work.
Isaac, we will watch Endgame or Infinity Wars. Yeah, exactly. Valgrind. First, we have to fix all bugs we found. I think I see what we got.
Honestly, that might be because I'm on a different build than you. This
Oh, that's
might
true.
have a change structure.
The navigation thing that I'm bringing to because you guys
Yeah, I don't
that's a
know.
recent fix.
Oh, that's super recent. That's like yesterday.
Yeah, that's quite possible. Yeah, I got the latest test build, but that wasn't necessarily the latest commit. It was just an older build. I think that got retriggered. Okay, so my current selection for those bytes, and I want bytes is equal to bv.read s sub 0 comma s sub 1 minus s sub 0. So there's my bytes, and then I want to I think if it's a byte array, I should be able to just do.
Yeah, sub 15.
Can I really? No.
Yeah, do list comprehension, sub 15.
Oh, list sorry. So yeah, I keep hitting the wrong key. X for X and B, like this,
Yep.
and then
And then just
map it to
empty string dot join or whatever.
B.
It might need to be an empty byte.
Yeah, I think I
I
might.
don't
Or
know.
I was gonna map it through like sure.
Yeah, that works too.
Map. Actually, I wish. Yeah, I was. Yeah, that looks right. Because I see if you
Yeah.
can do it with your eyes closed. So HSCTF. Oh, that's right. This is where we got last time, I think.
Oh, is this the first flag?
There's a flag there.
Okay.
Trace.
Gordon.
Tracer PID. I wonder if that's the password.
Oh my god.
And
Please
Gordon.
empty string join these.
Oh, fine. What those nulls gonna do? Yeah.
Thank you. Your wizard friend.
Actually, hold on. Let's just write it right back directly in place, right? So bv.write takes what? Our
No,
goodness.
no, no. That'll break so much.
Why?
Because it'll sub OX15. We need to patch out all the places that sub OX15s. Because then the binary won't run.
Oh no,
It'll
no,
be all
binary won't
static code.
run. I just wanted to see it, but yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, we can just name the strings like what they are.
I mean, sure. Okay, so yeah, like this is the first one. Name. Do this funky. I can.
God.
Tracer PID is this one, which actually doesn't exist. So we're actually gonna hit what type do we want to make this? I mean, kind of want it to be a char star, but how long is this?
11 bytes with a null byte at the end.
Good enough. Tracer PID, and then Gordon was the next one. Oh, there's a tracer PID colon and
there's
a
a
tab.
tab.
Well, there's a colon then a tab. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're not.
Oh wait, there's a colon, a new line, and a tab.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that's a prompt. That's definitely not.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's gonna decode to run. Let's see if you can eyes closed. So this is Gordon, and this is eyes closed. Hey, let's go see if Gordon works. Gordon does not work for the password. Maybe it's the way around. Oh, it's the way around.
Yeah. Because Gordon Freeman.
Yeah. And so then it prints the flag.
Prints the flag. Cool. Solve this. What?
Somehow I feel like that's not the.
Are you gonna need to automate interaction or something? Is that the?
It's gonna give us 100 or something. Interesting. Okay, so.
No, I'm gonna look at let's solve this string.
Oh, look at that persistent search.
It's referenced in different places.
Just 2. That's what the persistent. So persistent search and then also persistent cross references. So now I've got.
How do you open persistent search?
When you do a search, you can just click find all.
Oh.
And it will make the results persistent.
Wow, that would have been very nice during DEF CON.
Yeah, and then if you were in cross references and you hit Shift X, you're gonna get the persistent pinned cross references. No, I don't think there's any timers, Fox. We've removed all of the timers, I believe.
Math's on timer. There might be another timer. I didn't look for all the
all the syscalls.
Yeah. We'll see.
So the ptrace syscall. That's syscall 13E. I don't know what that is.
OX13E, what is that?
Yeah. But that's the only. Yeah, we've already removed the other one. So.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that was open for a long time. What is this? Wait, this is 64-bit, right? Yeah.
Yes.
God, I don't have my bookmarks with the syscall table. 318. Oh, that's sysget random. Okay.
Interesting. Although, but it was, but they called srand earlier. Now, srand though is not the syscall based one. That's just the libc. So
yeah.
calling rand would not be. What is this? That is really funny padding.
Wait, what? That's
I think that looks like compiler padding. Like I'm pretty confident this is if I make this a function, it's literally going to be, yeah, like, yep, that's one of those long knob things. But like that alignment is weird. So
does stuff just like fall through that little region?
Did it make some other functions there when I was nearby?
Yeah, we really need to finish the syscalls.
Oh, all right. So syscall go.
I think we have types for the syscalls, but not names. Like, I think the enum just needs to be flushed out.
Yeah, I know I've seen them before. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, let me make it. Hold on. So we've got navigation in Colab. That's one potential thing to look at. We've got syscalls in Crazy Bomb. And we've got create a plugin manager bug to track the default platform stuff. This is the other reason we do these strings, right? Oh, there's the solve this. So solve this. What do I do? I want to do this. All right, so this is stage 2. I hit the wrong hotkey. All right. Let's see if we collided any of our RE. Oh, we didn't that time. Nice. Is it actually looking for the correct answer though? Oh, %HU, %S, %HU. So HU, is that a hex value even though it displayed it as decimal?
No, HU is a 16-bit.
Is it just 16-bit?
Yeah, it's half unsigned.
Okay. So that should have been correct, and the timer shouldn't really matter. So why?
What was the? No, it's half unsigned. Is it scanf HU also? Because we put in a value greater than even 16 max.
Oh, they intentionally want you to like. Okay, that's well. Let me just try that real quick. So let's just try Gordon.
Oh no, the scanf is LU. Oh, and then they do a bunch of random checks.
Yeah, I mean, just like the straight math on that is not correct. So what are they doing? So if you don't send anything, they call puts of what is this 2 times minus plus.
Yeah.
And then XOR, right? So those are the possible cases you can get. So R12 is operation. Can actually make that an enum for 2, 3, 1. So
oh yeah, so that's actually determined by the like and 3 of the
random
second rand bytes or first rand bytes. Yeah, I named a couple things in here.
Yeah, okay.
You can also just hit save when it syncs.
Oh, okay. Just hit control S. Actually,
yeah, control S.
Should do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, it does the same.
Good.
It just listens for save and then.
Today I learned. Good. That saves me from having to click down there. All right. So yeah, we've got the different operations. But what I don't understand is why. Oh, yeah. And then these, so let's actually make those strings. Oops. Oh, that's fine. I hit it on the wrong offset. It still worked. There we go. So now we can see in line that the multiply does line up. So they're not doing anything tricky where like it lies. Like the operation does match that. Yeah, GameMind mentions half unsigned is unsigned short. So I'm definitely not having to worry about rolling over, especially like on that XOR operation. Wait, yeah. On the XOR, like anything over wouldn't really matter. So 2366 should be the right result for that math, unless how do they want it back in? I don't see the actual.
It's just %LU at
So
a
yeah, I
3060.
see it. Yeah. So
And it checks that you only input one.
that you input something within range of max int to, yeah, max signed int max. Well, 32-bit anyway.
It converts it
Ooh,
to signed.
if RDX is 22 and it's equal to that,
What?
which one is?
Wait, RDX is 22.
Error no location? What? That doesn't feel right. Hold on. I mean, no, that's I don't know why.
What was the output it gave when you gave the wrong answer?
Failure terminating.
Okay, so just hit there.
Yeah, we could just patch the random to always return one just temporarily. Um,
This is weird. It doesn't have a back edge. I thought this would be a loop.
is it outside? Well, yeah, because
Oh,
like
wait, what?
no, no, I think yeah. Oh yeah, I know. You expected you have to do it multiple times. I think you only have to get it right once.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still cracking up by this like padding. It just looks
Wait,
cute.
did you put in the right answer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
so this one,
I believe in you. You can do it in your head.
right? Oh, yeah. And I don't have to worry about size there. So, yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, I appreciate the advice, Hogrind. So, yeah, I mean, we can fix the random, but like, I don't still understand why it's wrong. I mean, I assume part of the challenge was to get the timing if we didn't patch out the syscalls. There we go. Hold on. Why is there? Okay, so there's some math happening on the random number here. Oh no, that's weird. So why do they use like this secure like random with the syscall up top, and then they just straight up call rand down below? Like that doesn't make any sense. Rand when it was srand with a constant value.
I think it's just obfuscated with the syscall.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's any purpose. Like you need to do it once. You're not gonna unwind whatever.
But they're using two totally different systems of entropy, right? Like they have the actual syscall, and then they're just calling libc's srand with a constant value, and then calling rand. So they call rand the libc random generator, and then they also use the syscall to use like the kernel directly to generate
Oh wait, they
randomness
srand with a random value. What?
with a constant value. Yeah, earlier on they called srand with a constant value.
Oh, that's weird.
So this Rex 17, which gets actually is that the only random result? Assuming
There are a
that's
couple.
well, yeah, but are they before or after us? Yeah, they're later in this same function.
Oh yeah. That's the first in here.
So let's do the pin cross references.
But I think we're hitting the error condition at 3060.
So let me just do that one for a second. That's a lot of RAMs. I think.
Wait, what?
Shoot junction. I did some pin cross references.
That is they're all at the same address.
Oh, because they're variable references. Oh, he just filed that bug. Like literally I think actually, look at this. Duplicate variable references showing up. When the variable shows up twice in the same normal instruction, there'll be two variable xrefs as well. And it shows up
Cool.
the
Yeah.
xrefs. So, all right, that's one we don't have to worry about. Or a bajillion instead of just two. This is we can provide this as a test binary. Good evening, Mozart. Yeah, we're just kind of like making our way through the crazy bomb. We solved it once before. We had to remember how we had done it. Thankfully, it took us significantly less time this time. So we're on to stage 2. And later stages, it's got to be like decrypting later portions of itself, I would think. But so we'll probably have to wire up a debugger. But
I mean, honestly, here that would be the way I'd go. I'm trying to do this all statically.
I know.
Literally just took up a debugger on that on the actual check.
Oh, look at this though. This is great. See, this is such a good binary to talk about like function size. Because look, there's these 2 bytes. There's like literally an op in the middle of the basic blocks just for alignment purposes. So do you count that as part of the function or not? Except fail. Let's see.
Yeah, this is HSCTF.
Which we knew from the flag, the first flag that we solved.
Yeah, that's what a game might was saying.
I don't think we actually knew. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's only one call to exit fail on stage 2. So unless we're passing this check and failing a check right after.
Oh yeah, the other one is beep boop. So this is going to be failure terminating probably. Wait a minute, that doesn't look right. So you're talking about like the 2DA0 comparison?
On, give me one sec.
Stage 2.
Function. 2DA0.
2DA9. Sorry, I can't read. Oh, there's a dynamic function. So there's a function pointer here that's created on the fly and written to. So it's like dynamically calling some function here.
No, I mean, we might be hitting the exit fail at 3060. And then I was going up back to the caller to see if that has exit fail in it.
Wait, 3060. I don't even see. That is.
It's in stage 2.
Yeah. 3060?
Yeah.
Is not code for me.
What?
Is not code for me. That's just padding.
I'm in HLIL.
I'm an HLIL.
That says 3060. I don't know. No, scroll up.
Ah, what did I just do? Okay.
Well, go to stage 2.
Oh, wait.
3060 is in there. It's not linear, like.
Right. Stage 2.
Yeah, 3060, you just scroll past it.
Oh, sorry, this exit fail. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I got you.
So I don't know if we're hitting that. Like scanf is just, for whatever reason, dying on our input. I doubt it, but who knows?
Well, I think actually you're right. Because
navigating crossrefs in HLIL is pretty buggy, actually. Like, if you go up to stage 2, just like go to xrefs for stage 2.
Yeah.
And then double click that.
Oh, right. That it doesn't select the actual call to stage 2.
Yeah, that is the total wrong thing to select.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stage 2 call actually doesn't show up in HLIL.
I'm curious why that is, actually.
Oh yeah, okay. So if it's equals 0, we exit fail. So what does it return?
Huh, I don't know why. So I kind of want to see where the stage 2 call goes away. Wait, is the stage 2 itself? Hold on. All that like inline optimized buffer creation. Right. Fox says we are correct. Oh, so somebody tried this. No more Norwegian brothers. Also punish. Oh, sorry, that's a long thread I'm apparently missing. Ooh, Valgrind knows Norwegian. That's impressive. All right.
What is that error no location?
Right? Right? Like they're using they're putting the return value of that and then
Comparing to OX22.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with that one.
Yeah, that's super weird.
So what do we decide 3100 is?
3100?
Yeah, the function. Oh, I guess that's
Oh, 3100 is just like the.
I think that is stage 2.
Oh, are we in the internal stage 2 right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 3100. Yeah, because yeah, that's this is called all the random stuff. 3100.
Okay, yeah. So this is not stage 2, this is math problem.
Yes. Yes. This is stage 2. And look, we'll each change half the problem.
All right. So it's returning. Yeah, this is weird. It's comparing that R12 to -1, which RDX2
Wait.
needs to be OX22.
Oh, hold on. Maybe this is just stage 1 still? No. This is still math. What is this other you're a wizard? I mean, there's the flag. Like, did you already get that out? Or is that the flag we got from the first one?
That's a fly from the first one.
Why is it referenced here? Oh, wow. Yeah. So they use so I think they've got some like checksumming so that if you tried to like jump straight to the second phase or something without properly solving the first one, like it hadn't actually decrypted in memory, it wouldn't work.
Oh, cool.
Because like there's a pointer reference to our flag from before.
Yeah. I mean, that just looks like a decrypt.
That's fair, Valgrind. I guess there's similar similar languages, or they're fairly similar, right? if you wrote Danish but spoke Swedish. Nice. Um, all right. Well, I'm closing in on time for movies with the kids, but let's. Oh, which wire do you want to cut? Oh, that part looks fun. All right. So we're gonna.
Yeah, so we redid part one way faster. And now part two, that errand location is really weird.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at like this assembly, um, they write 0. Wait, hold on. What does error know? 22.
Just returns the address of the errand variable for the current thread.
No, hold on.
EI and val.
E range, numerical result out of range. Do you specifically, you have to give it an invalid value?
Wait, really?
I mean, hold on.
That's funny. That's, oh yeah, that is after the scanf.
So if I just give it like, not FF, let's just give it like, yeah, like really big number. No, failure terminating. Maybe you have to hit like, but it
No, because you need EI value. So you might need the valid number first and then like a letter after to hit that.
No, because that one was. No. OX22 is range. Numerical result out of range.
Oh.
It's E range. So scanf E range. Scanf says error entry E range if the result of. And also, do we want that to be the case or do we not? Because that may be. Which logic is it?
If the result, you want it to be that.
Okay. Then yeah, so
Result integer conversion will exceed the size. Oh, so we want to set it to like
negative.
Negative. Yeah, you could set it to the 2's complement. That would work.
Of the actual value or just like pick it up like
Of the
Nexus?
expected.
Okay.
Because it would LU.
All right, so Gordon FR 33M4N.
Would it? Oh, or you might need the. Oh. I think you need the correct value and then like an invalid value immediately after. I don't know. Scanf.
Oh, I mean, so let's see. Oops. So where's the scanf?
It's great. I basically have like I dictate and then reverse engineering and debugging happens on my second monitor without any of my input.
It's just like
I just need to wait.
slightly delayed, and then you just get to watch it
Yeah.
happen. There was only 2 teams able to solve this, and they compete nationally in CTFs. Well, I used to compete in CTFs, so I'm
No,
like
neither of us have ever competed in CTFs.
Pretend
We
like
are both complete
pure developers. We have never played CTF.
Yep. Nope. What is a CTF? I play Halo.
Right. You mean like capture the flag in my
Yeah.
opponent's base? No, I mean it's just doing the percent %u. It's only ever going to read out a single value. So we're going to return a single unsigned value into var138. Like that is the result.
But we need it to be
But
we need it to be out of range and also
We need to
match the expected value.
I think that's fine because
Does scanf actually store if it's out of range?
well, let's find out. Have undefined value if the result of this operation cannot be represented as an integer.
That sounds like maybe. I can test this. I have a compiler.
So I mean, I kind of feel like yeah, we should just do the 2's complement. So 2's complement is and it with all f's. But how do I do some Python? And what size is this? 64-bit or 32-bit?
Oh, Python 2's complement is impossible. I literally shell out to a C, like just tiny program.
Someone's got this online.
I'm
So
just like, oh, display it as hex, and it's like, oh, okay, here's a negative value in front.
input
Or negative
requires
sign in front.
11 bits. 8 bits were specified. Decimal. So negative. But you don't want a negative value because it will be wrong, correct? Also, that's funny. Wait, what? This website's the worst. You enter a decimal value between 128 and 127. Very helpful. These are only doing 8-bit. Like, why are these all 8-bit things? These all these online JavaScript 2's complement things, and they're all 8-bit. Oh. Yeah. All right, so have you actually just written out the C to do this? Because it's my job to do
Well,
it.
I'm just seeing if it stores the value even if it's out of range. Which
Oh, yeah, yeah.
actually that would be interesting if it does.
I mean, it has to, or this code is not possible, right?
Wait, does it? Oh my god.
It would have to.
Wait, but what value is that?
Oh, I guess that's the trick, right?
Yeah, no, it does. If it's out of range, it just stores all Fs. But if it's negative, what happens?
Need to tell our video editor we might skip this week for a shortened video. This one's running real long. We'll just pull out the basics one and let the unedited one go forward. This might be a long edit. Yeah, so I think that's essentially what we have to do is we have to like abuse the libc scanf to produce something that sorry, no, this is not a result. This is input. Input, and then this is results. So we want result to the resulting value should be within signed 32-bit. Yeah. Yeah, it must be 7F. Right, right.
Sign
That's
32-bit?
signed 32-bit maxint.
Oh, but they read LU into it. Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Got it. So, oh wait, what?
they're gonna set the return code to fail if any of these are there. Although, yeah, okay. So we have to get to here. We have to get to
We need to get to the
the R15 2 is equal to 0.
pull. Yeah, I renamed it to success.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly what I was about to rename it. So if I save, it doesn't actually pull though.
It does.
I mean, I'm hitting Control S.
Oh, maybe I named something else. Or wait, did I? Yeah, I synced.
It's when I hit Control S, it's not syncing. I'm pretty
Oh, maybe
certain.
you have that disabled.
Oh, is that an option?
Yeah, it's a setting. It's like sync on save or something. Or maybe I have that enabled. I forget if it's default.
Oh, yeah, it's not enabled by default.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really nice.
Okay, but also you didn't name that success.
I didn't.
I don't think so. I just did.
Oh, okay. What did I name success?
Oh.
Oh, the actual return value.
I mean, also that one.
You know, the one that's set to 0 or 1.
If math problem one. Oh yeah, there's more to this too then, right? So, oh no, no, hold on.
Uh, let's see,
Oh
username.
yeah, yeah. This is okay. So this is. Wait, what? What is the one labeled math problem then?
Math problems, math. Wait, are there? Oh, there might be multiple. Oh yeah, go
There
back.
totally
It's
are. There totally
math
are.
problem 1 is
Yeah.
called.
This. Yeah. So there's. This is actually
Okay.
second math problem. Because like the parent function that one that was 3100 that we're currently calling like stage two. I really want that UI refactor where stage two stays on top of the screen so I can tell what function I'm in.
Oh, that's it. If arg1 is 1, then it prints the problem. Otherwise, it doesn't print the problem. So that's where the srand comes in. And you just need to predict or like calculate the next numbers.
Why do you have to know the random map? I mean,
Please go into Graphview.
yeah.
Yeah, so HLL Graphview. Go down to like in math problem, 2E88 or something. Like one of those branches with the printf.
Second math problem.
Yeah, so there. That conditional puts down, bottom left of your screen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if arg1 is 0, then it puts it. So for first stage, it puts it, and then it just doesn't put it, and it sends you the result. So this is duplicated code. I don't know why. But that's actually a cool concept. I like that. You could learn a lot about srand from this.
I still don't see how this requires anything with srand.
Because they don't
Pure.
print the problem to you if arg1 is not equal to 0. So you need to predict what the next problem will be.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Right.
So that's a cool concept. I have 11 snapshots. Okay. But actually getting the hard part of this isn't predicting the randomness. It's
no, that's
literally
easy.
inputting the number, which is really funny.
Yeah.
At what point is one of us just going to break and pull out a debugger?
Next week because I'm gonna go watch a movie tonight with my kids right now. I think it's time to pause
Sick.
it, but we can take this up next week and continue working on it. I mean it's good. It's good practice. We've definitely lost some of our audience from running a little bit long,
Yeah.
but
And I've exposed why I only do web and crypto.
I've never been the best at RE stuff, but I enjoy it nonetheless. So, uh, second math call is gone. I do think there's a potential binge. Like I don't know why the call to second math problem wasn't showing. No, wait, no, that was showing up, wasn't it? It was the cross references. That was the issue.
Yeah, cross-reference navigation, and the call to the first math problem wasn't showing up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, and no, patching it out, you'd ideally want to work around this because I don't know the actual problem, but there might have been a server that takes your input, so you can't just patch out the alarm, and that would enforce you to do it in the time limit. So you want to get it working with the original binary so you can use it on any remote server
Yeah,
regardless, and
yeah,
it'll
yeah,
work.
yeah. I mean, but that's
If
not
there
hard
wasn't a server,
with
then
the
yeah,
S
patch it.
with the SRAN const. Actually, yeah, that's a good question, Fox. Um, was this run on a server and they were also given the binary? Like the binary you were given had the flags patched out, or was
I think that's what that memory was with it's not going to be so easy. Like on the server, I think that would be the real flag. That's a pretty
no?
common pattern.
No, I think that was just like a dummy flag, like the one I put in for Chris Eagle, that was like just a string put in the binary. I could
Maybe.
see this either way. I could see this totally being they just gave people the binary, but I could also see this being as an online server. Yeah, thanks, Valgrind Mozart.
Uh,
Yeah, I I think this has also been a very good demo of collab because I think that it has
yeah.
worked. And again, this is actually like a decent sized binary. So there's not a ton of like uh functions in it yet though, because it's got all this other like data that's either compressed or an image or whatever else is
Oh
going on with it.
no.
What?
You're probably right. That's I don't know, probably a compressed bitmap or something.
I'm telling you it is. Like still 100%. Like this is like you
Well, no,
can
it doesn't look compressed, but
well like it could be ECB encrypted or something, right? Like
oh, true.
I'm telling you there's going to be like a width of the feature map that's going to make that look like a picture.
Like the old spectrogram Sego challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm convinced there is structure in this thing that
All right, I'm gonna head out. I'll let you do the outro for the stream, with that famous catchphrase, and I'll let you think of a famous catchphrase.
yeah, it's like quick,
So,
quick. Think of my famous catchphrase.
all right, it was fun though.
Exactly. I had a good time.
Bye, bye,
Thanks
chat.
everybody in the stream. Thanks for coming out, Josh. Yeah, because this is no fun to do something that long by myself. So I appreciate you hopping in. Chat. Any last questions? Okay, so there's the same binary, and it was an RE challenge. I mean, so RE challenges can be a remote too, though, right? Like you could still totally make this an RE challenge where like you had to RE understand it and then throw it against a remote server. So like this could easily have been this just because like again it forces you to understand it locally, but then you still have to throw it against something else. So thanks, Isaac. Fox, no stream next week. So check out the beginning of the VOD with the schedule posted, but also where we talk about it. All our streams are going to be every other week from now on. So we're going to be on a week, off week. But in the off weeks, you're going to be getting out like the edited videos from the previous weeks. So you'll be getting edits where we'll pull out the Binary Ninja Basics overviews. And some weeks we'll be getting like condensed stream edits where you can see like what happened without having to watch the whole stream. So if you miss a week, you can catch up on it more easily that way. In the meantime, yeah, we still got the backlog. So if you haven't seen all the old streams, welcome to go back and check those out. But every other week is the new plan. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out. If you did, I appreciate it. And we will catch. Yeah, what is my catchphrase? Somebody think of a catchphrase for me. But anyway, take care.